So my name is Kay Kay. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I have lived here 19 years. 1 year I was in Indianapolis, and all the time since I've been here in the United States, I'm a Microsoft certified system engineer by profession. But I lost my job after 9/11, and I got into the gas station business. And I have been in the gas station business since then. I, as of today, I own 8 gas stations. I own a couple of laundromats. I own a banquet hall. And in 2015, somebody offered us a 40 single family portfolio here. So we ended up buying that portfolio, 40 single family, and I started managing those 40 single family myself. That's how I started learning this real estate business. And I soon, after owning those 40 single family properties, I soon realized that this is something that I should not be increasing. So I didn't buy any more houses. Actually, I bought 33 in one shot and 7 in the other from father and a son. So, but I decided I'm not buying any more. I started investing passively in multifamily in 2016. So I have been investing passively since 2016. I have invested in 12 deals so far. So got out of the gas station business, but didn't just day-to-day operations. I still have those gas stations. I still have all those businesses, but I do have partners that manage those businesses. So I am full-time multifamily investor, and the houses that I bought in 2015, I sold back in May, and 10x our money in 5 years. So
Wow.
that was a good deal for us. And I learned a lot. I had never done any real estate business before. Never rented a house, neither in India nor here. But that was a good experience. I learned everything. But while I was managing those properties, and I was investing and also learning the multifamily business. So about two years ago, I decided to go as a GP instead of a limited partner. I still kept investing in in the deals. So I do invest in my own deals. Every deal I invest that I raise money for. So I started to look for some good operators because multifamily has different pieces to the puzzle. So I decided, I read a lot of books, listened to a lot of podcasts, attended a lot of boot camps. Uh, I didn't join any coaching program or anything, but I coach other students. I coach students, and but I learned a lot by podcasts, reading books, and my personal experience, just because I had real estate for the last about 20 years because we owned the gas station properties. I never realized there was real estate as well because we owned and operated both. So I always considered that as a business. But we had real estate companies that managed those. So we have an operating entity, and then we have a real LLC that owns the real estate, and the operating entity is the actually entity that runs the business on it. So, and the operating entity is paying rent to the LLC. So basically, I was a landlord for 20 years, but never realized because we are the same partners in the operating and the LLC. So it was, we could charge 4,000, we could charge 10,000, didn't matter.
Mhm.
So then I joined Mastermind Group, Rod Cleve's Mastermind Group, where I met 50 operators. There were really good operators who had done thousands of doors deals. So I started doing those deals with them. So first deal I got at the I was at the mastermind in San Diego, and one of the operators, I think I decided to start with raising capital myself rather than finding the deal, analyzing the deal. And I knew all of that, but I didn't want to do everything. Uh, but I focused on one thing and specialized in that thing. That way I could partner with good operators and raise capital for them while they can manage the properties.
I think
So
it's a great tactic.
yes,
Over there.
yes,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but before you go further, I have a quick question.
go ahead.
How many total units you have right now?
I have a close to 3,000
Close to 3,000.
as a LP and a GP both.
Okay. And among that 3,000, how many units did you have as an LP and before starting GP?
I have 800 as a 3,000 as a LP. So because I have invested in every deal, and 800 out of them and 4 deals out of the 12 I am a GP on.
Okay. All
And
right.
we right now as we speak, we are raising capital for another property which I'm going to talk at the end. It's a 368 unit property in Atlanta, Georgia, and we are closing that in mid January. So at this time we are raising capital, so I'll be talking about that in the end. And the property behind me is in Houston, Texas, that we closed on September 15th of this year.
Congrats.
So we raised money during the COVID. So while sitting at home, so we were raising money for this property back here. It's 150 B-class property in the Galleria area of Houston, Texas. If you guys know about the Galleria, Galleria is a very upscale area. So this is the only B-class property in that area. All the other properties are A-class properties.
That's great. Did you find it really challenging or more challenging than normal to raise during COVID?
No, I mean, we were just talking, Joseph was talking to me that we are raising some amount of money. It's not challenge. It's all you learn and build your investor base. And sometimes you don't even imagine how much money you can raise. So I just put it on, I just sent one email so far, and I haven't called anyone, I haven't texted anyone, I haven't followed up anyone. I have already raised 1.5 million on that.
Wow.
With just one email.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm going to talk why we can raise money, how to raise money, and all that in my next segment.
Right.
So this is my story. If you, I just briefed it because we need more time in the end to talk about other. But if I 5 minutes for questions, 4 minutes actually for questions. If you have any questions so far.
Right, guys. So today, two main themes were KK's life story and how he maintains his relationship with the investors and how he raised capitals was another big theme. So he talked about his life, and I have like just a few more questions just to follow up from your life story. So how did your starting in apartment investing as a passive investor help you in transitioning to the GP side, if at all?
Well, that's a really good question, and a lot of people ask me that. A lot of people try to start as a GP. Everybody wants to be a GP. Nobody wants to be LP first. A lot of people just want to be GP. I get that all the time. How can we get to the GP side instead of the LP side? You got to bring something to the table. First of all, if you are not investing with these people and you want to go and be on the GP side of their deal, why would they want you to be GP? You have never invested. You don't have anything under your belt other than, even if you are an accredited investor, you have the money. But why do you think they would put you on the GP side and split their income with you if you don't have anything to bring to the table? And when I ask these people, what do you have to bring to the table? And they have nothing. Oh, we can do some stuff. We can be boots on the ground. You don't get a share for being boots on the ground. You can learn the business by being boots on the ground. So you must specialize in something that you can bring to the table for the deal.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it does. So in your case, also being a passive investor into certain deals also got you the credibility.
Yes. Yes. I have the net worth, I have the liquidity, so I can also sign loans.
Mm-hmm.
I can also sign loans. And also since I have done this for so many years, I'm also an asset manager on these deals. So I sit on asset management calls. I'm a part of the asset management team.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Because you cannot just raise money and be a part of the team.
KK, did you I'm assuming, or I'm under the impression that you didn't even have to necessarily go to the GP side. You could have just lived the rest of your life as an LP, collecting great returns. But it kind of stands out that you enjoy real estate that much that you really wanted to get on the GP side.
You are absolutely right. Until I got it, I didn't know that I have so much passion for it. And you won't believe that for about a year, I listened to at least one or two podcasts every day. Every day. Whenever I was at the gym, I would listen to Michael Blank, Rod Cleve, Whitney Sewell. They have like every day, the daily podcast they have. So that's how I learned most of it. And then I would read until like midnight, read books, learn from the internet. So as I told you, I never hired somebody to coach me or anything. I never joined other than the mastermind. I joined the mastermind, and mastermind is not coaching or anything. It's just the networking with the like-minded, experienced people, so that they can know you more, so that they can trust you more, and then you can be a part of that team.
That's great. Thank you. And I have one more follow-up question on that.
Sure.
We have here some people who already started as a GP in some of the deals, but who we also have some who are just starting and just trying to delve into what kind of investment vehicle multifamily is. But I want to focus on this question is for, let's say, who just started and now have like certain number of units under belt. How can someone can scale up to 1,000, 2,000, just like you? What helped you the most?
So, well, I started big. I started big. Rather than what I think is, rather than owning 10 units, 15 units by yourself, be a part of the team and bring something to the table, and be a part of the bigger properties. Because if you are buying 10, 15 units, and if you're unexperienced, you don't have much experience yet, you don't know how to calculate, you don't know the risks of it. So if you end up in a bad deal, you're done for the rest of your life. So I think leveraging other people's experience is the key in this business, and getting on the bigger deals rather than the smaller deals.
Mhm.
First of all, I want to tell you this, and this is most important than multifamily. Mindset is the key. So if you are always thinking of duplexes, fourplexes, you can never buy properties like this. I mean, I would rather have a small piece of a bigger pie than a bigger pie itself.
I like that. Yes.
Yeah, so you got to work on your mindset first, think big, think out of the box, think that you can do bigger things, and partner with other, leverage other people's experience, bring something, do hard work, learn everything, and specialize in one thing. So let's say somebody is good at sourcing, cold calling. They can bring a deal to me. They can underwrite the deal. Don't take the deal directly. If you are good at calling, and even if that's a good deal, if you take that deal as is, you take the T12 or just send somebody. Nobody has time. I mean, no big operator has time to underwrite those deals or look at those deals like that. But if you learn how to underwrite the deals and you underwrite, then they can tweak around, but you underwrite those deals and you find those deals that they make sense, you can send to anyone. And you can say, okay, I don't want money for that, I want a GP share for that. And they'll give you GP share for sourcing the deal.
Right. So you're saying there are many different ways to get into the deal, but the main point is the mentality that you will rather want to be in big deals with others than own one or two duplexes yourself.
That's how I did. My first deal was 225 units in Amarillo, Texas. That's what I partnered on, and I raised 550,000 for it in 3 days.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah,
So,
I think that's great. People, I always tell nowadays to friends of mine that I'll rather own 10% of 10 different buildings than own a one building myself. It's great for diluting liability and everything. So I absolutely understand what you're saying, KK.
Yep.
All right. So now I think it's about time to delve into your specialty of capital raising for us, the multifamily investors. That's one of the absolutely essential skill set to develop.
Yes, I mean, if you are looking at money is the most important thing. You could have everything else. If you don't have the money, you can't do the deals.
True.
And raising money is not the most difficult thing. Let's say if we divide the whole multifamily business into 5 different blocks, from sourcing to asset management. Getting money is the easiest part of all of them. But you need to know the tricks. You got to nurture your investors. You got to have some prerequisites, and I'm going to talk about all those. Anybody has any questions before we start?
Yeah, I think we can start it.
You can start?
Yep.
Okay, then I'm going to share my screen, which I think I have already. Okay. Is that, you guys can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going, how much time do we have?
Go ahead, as much time as much as you want.
Okay, great. So we're going to talk about raising private capital. And also from this, I remembered that there is a book. If you guys want to buy that book, the name of the book is also Raising Private Capital by Matt Faircloth. So most of what I have learned is, not all of it, but most of the strategies I use are in this book. And I'm going to go over the slides and show you. I can dig in deep into too much, but I'll do my best so that you guys understand what I'm talking about. So first of all, there are some prerequisites before you start raising capital. And these are, first of all, you must get educated yourself. So if you just jump into the field and think, oh, I can raise money, and somebody asks you a question and you are not able to answer that question. I mean, I asked somebody today, I was talking about a deal, and I said PSA, and he didn't know what a PSA is. I said, why do you think you can raise money? Because you don't know what a PSA is, purchase sale agreement. And he didn't know what a PSA is. So before you start raising capital, you must get educated. And it doesn't have to be getting coaching or joining some group or anything. Listening to podcasts, reading some books, learning the terminology that is used in the multifamily. And also, even if you are sourcing the deals, if you are trying to talk to the brokers, if you don't know those things and you don't have enough knowledge, no commercial broker is going to waste their time on you. They're not going to even send you deals in your email. I mean, though these guys are very time tight, they don't have much time. So if they figure out that you don't know what you're doing, you're just a tire kicker, they're not going to waste their time. So get educated, develop a track record. So that's developing a track record means if you own something, if you can invest with uh, other people, you have some. I mean, if you own a 10 unit, you put 100,000 down and you buy $1 million property, you have only 10 units. If you invest that 100,000 into a 368,000 deal, you have 368 units under your belt. So that's the 3,000. I don't own all those 3,000. I might end, maybe the total I own, if I break it down, maybe I own 100 units, maybe less than 100 units altogether. And those are all B-class properties. You can go on my website. And for example, this property back here is 130,000, and I invested 150,000 in it, my money. So I could have bought only one, but being a GP on that, I own about 9 of the units out of that property. So because you're investing your money as a limited partner, that is the down payment, and then they are leveraging your money. And if you're paying them enough to get 1 unit, that means you're owning 5 units. So that's how you can increase these numbers, by building your track record, and also aligning with other operators to do something, even if for free. If you're boots on the ground, so let's say I'm looking at a property and you're in New York, and you go walk the property, take some pictures and send them to me. So that's adding value, and then I'll remember your name, phone number, email. Next time I need somebody in New York or for some deal, I'll definitely get hold of you first. So take personal inventory. That means how much time you have. And this is all the prerequisites to decide what you want to do. And take that, how much time you have, how much money you can invest, what skills you have. Do you know how to underwrite it? Even if you are raising money, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't know underwriting, because then you can be kicked around because you don't know nothing about the business, but you have some people that you know are wealthy, they are high net investors, and they could put you in, you could put them in a wrong deal, and if they don't make the money, and then you're done for the rest of your life, because you have wasted other people's money without knowledge or without having a pre-record. And then when you come to do your own deal, they're the ones you depend on, and they're the one not going to invest with you because they have already been burnt. And I talked about a mindset. I can go on and on, but here I'm going to talk only about your why. So why always, and whatever business you are in, whatever W2 job, everybody has their why. So write down that as well. What's your why? And dig deep into it. Why do you want this? Whether you want money, whether you want time freedom, whether you want financial freedom, what is your why you whether you want to leave a legacy for your kids, whether, I mean, my why is I want my son to become a syndicator. So I have been doing this just to pave the way for him to take a smooth slide to become a syndicator and get in this business rather than having a W-2 job or even the gas station business. We had to do gas station business because I didn't go to school or college here, and I went in India, and English is not my first language. So we had, the easiest thing we could do is the gas station, and most of our people from India, they do this, and our taxi drivers or truck drivers, we are hard workers, but I didn't go to school or college here, so that's our drawback. But I don't want my son to get into the gas station business. Because it's a hard business. So I would rather have him become a syndicator. So that is my why. But you must have, everyone has their why, whether they know it or not, but there is a why. So create a business plan. Create a business plan. So even if you don't have any property, you can use somebody's previous deck, like I'm going to show you just in a little bit, or you can create your sample deck before you even have an investor. And listen, guys, if you have an investor before you have a deal, that means you have a customer before you have a product. So how good is that? Everybody gets a product first, then starts looking for customers. So here we can do the other way around. You can have just a sample deck. Take your friend or relative to a coffee shop, sit across the table, take your laptop, show him that if this is what I buy, would you be a part of it? You can present to the group, hey guys, I'm working on something like this. This is the sample deck. It's not the real deck. It's a sample deck. Would you be interested in making 15 to 20% IRR on your money that is sitting in the bank or in the IRA account or in your home equity? I'm going to talk about all that in a little bit. And then you have a strategy, and make sure to do the market analysis. What you can do, make sure to do the market analysis on that market. You can do the market analysis on the market itself, then you can do the survey, sub-market, then you can do the neighborhood. There are ways, there's a lot of stuff on the internet. I don't have the time to share today, but there's a lot of stuff on the internet, and it's all free, where you can go do the market analysis, do the sub-market, neighborhood, even the properties. So, okay. So, there are 4 buckets of investors. Number 1, you start with your family, friends, co-workers, and somebody they refer to. So let's say you have a friend and his grandma has money. So he may not have money himself, but his grandma might have money. His grandpa might have money. His other relatives might have money. So start with your family, friends, co-workers, and referrals. These are all the people you know already. And they probably know what you do. And do not try without learning, without getting into some deals if you can, and they will automatically know what you do. You won't have to tell them that, hey, this is what I'm going to do. They will probably automatically know what you do. And the second bucket is real estate investors. So there are real estate investors everywhere, and they are more professional than your family, coworker, and friends. So you need to learn and talk a little more technical language to so that they understand. And they are always investors, and all you have to do is to convert them from a single family to a multi-family, and then to your deals. And then third bucket is there are other businesses. There are other businesses that, like the gas station owners, for me, my example. There are subway owners. There are banquet hall owners that I know here in Fort Wayne because of my businesses. So then you can approach them, and probably you will know that they are accredited investors. If that the deal is for accredited only, you will probably know anybody who owns a business, maybe. And now they started that even somebody doesn't qualify as an accredited investor by net worth or income. Now they can go do a certification, FINRA 65 series, take an exam, $175 fee, and you can become an accredited investor. I think everyone who is interested in the multifamily should take that certification and become an accredited. Once you become an accredited, it brings you you get credibility for that. You can write down with your name. You have a lot more knowledge. It costs you just $175 to get that credibility that it took me 6 years to get. You can get it in 1 month. And the fourth bucket is social media, networking, what we are doing today. So those people you don't know already, but you can build, because these are big deals, guys, big money. You can't get it from your bucket 1 or bucket 2 only. Eventually you will have to go out and present it to the world outside your network. So that is the number 4 bucket. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more in my next slides. So these are the 5 steps to successful capital raise. Step 1, surround yourself with high quality people who can help you achieve your long-term goals. So it's a common saying that you become the 5 people you hang around with. If you're hanging around with broke people, you're going to be broke. If you are hanging around with wealthy people, you're going to be wealthy. If you are hanging around with the rock stars, you can be a rock star. That's how I became a gas station owner. I didn't know anything about the gas station owner. When I came to United States, I had friends in Indianapolis who were gas station owners, and I was hanging around with them. I stayed with them for a month when I came. And when I lost my job, they said, they knew me. They knew my knowledge. They knew I was computer savvy, and they were not well educated. So they offered me a 30% share in one of the gas stations without any money. So if I was not hanging around, if I was hanging around with W2 people, I might have been a W2 guy until now, because I was hanging around with the gas station owners, and they had an option. They gave me a 30% for free. I just paid for the inventory and became the owner of a gas station, 30% owner of the gas station. So you hang around with good people, high net worth people, like-minded people, pushing people who hold you accountable for things. Hang around with those surround yourself with those kind of people. Then work hard to understand the financial goals clearly. Write down your goals every year. Make them little hard. And when you reach there, move the goalpost a little bit further. Keep doing that. And doesn't matter even if you don't uh, meet those goals, but always follow them up every week. When you write goals, write 5-year goal, 3-year goal, 1-year goal, and monthly goals. And then if you're not following them up on weekly basis, at the end of the year it's going to be Christmas and you haven't done anything. So for example, if you say, okay, and those goals must be very specific, and then those goals must be measurable. And so for example, if you are going to a gym you want to lose weight, and if you say, okay, I'm going to lose 10 pounds of weight, and you don't do it every month, every week, and then at the end of the year, it's around Christmas time, and you want to lose all the 10 pounds, then you will never do it. Even December, if you do all of December, you're not going to do it if you didn't do it rest of the year. So make sure to keep working on your goals as well. Do your best to help them achieve their long-term goals, and do the same thing for your investors. So talk to investors one-on-one. Start with one-on-one. Never start with the groups, because then you may not be able to answer. And the other thing is, if I can't satisfy Joseph, then he'll take Nico, he'll take Mark, he will take Florine along with them. So you lose not just one, you lose 4 of them. So try one-on-one. If you lose, you can't satisfy, take another time. Learn what his questions are. Learn what his goals are. Go to the next one. So take steps, try to learn their financial goals, what part of the life they are in, what age group they are. Make sure to take notes, etc. Write down, and when you sit there with them again for the second time, you know what we talked last time. That way, they will be impressed that you already know most of them, what their goals are. Consistency is the key to success. So if you meet somebody today and he refuses to invest today, and you have another deal that you are looking at, even if you are not on that deal yet, so make sure to talk to them again. Schedule a call. Schedule a coffee stop at the coffee shop. So try to keep it consistent. Keep knocking. One day they will invest with you, because then they will be sure that you have been contacting them on consistently basis, and you know what you're doing, and you are moving forward. So consistency is the key, and follow up. If they agree, let's say I have a deal today, and I call Mark, and Mark is okay to invest, or he says, okay, let me talk to my wife and I will get back with you. Don't wait for him to get back. Ask him, when can I follow up? When can I call you next week? What would be a good time to call you? And try to build up a relationship. Ask his wife's name, ask about the kids, ask about the dogs, cats, whatever they have. Ask about their interest, what interest they have. So these are some of the things that are very important for a capital raiser. You go to somebody and you don't know his wife's name, you don't know who is, where, what country is he from. And most of my investors are Indians. And the reason is because I'm kind of a more same way of thinking that they think. And it could be, if you are a cyclist, you could be attracted by some other cyclist because you are a cyclist. Doesn't matter, you are a multi, it doesn't matter if you are only a multi, and that's how I'm a gas station owner. A lot of gas station owners have invested with me because I'm a gas station owner, and I have been a successful gas station owner. So try to figure out what resembles If you are a golfer, they golf, go take them to golf. Talk more about the business. Talk more to see if they are willing to invest with you. So cash sources, where is the cash? A lot of time people have the cash, but they don't know where the cash is. So these are some of the sources. For example, now in the CARES Act, the government allowed all the IRA owners to withdraw up to, I think, $400,000 for the next 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure about what the timeline is, but I have some investors who took money out without paying a penalty, and they invested in my deals because they can put that money back in the next 4 years without paying any penalty. So why would they want to let the money sit in the IRA account? They would take that money out and invest it, and then they can slowly fill that bucket back up and reap the profits here as well. So real estate equity. So a lot of people have like equity in their houses, or their or they are almost paid off. And why would you not use that equity in the house or your rental property or your business property if you can take out that money at 3%, 4%, and invest in high paying like 15 to 18% return on your money? So why wouldn't you do that? Why would you let that money sit in the equity and not use it? And some of the people have cash in the bank, like I do, from the businesses, income from the businesses, and some people have inheritance. Some people have savings. Some people are savers. They have the habit of savings, and they have saved money, and now they want to put that money to work. They don't get anything in the bank. They want that put that money to work. So now they can make, instead of making less than 1% in the bank, they want to make 15, 17%, 18%. And high income professionals like doctors, IT professionals, attorneys, those are the people where the money is. And they have tons of money that they can invest. And there is no other platform where they can get this kind of returns without taking bigger risks. And multifamily is the least risk investment. If you're doing your homework, there is least, this building is not going to go anywhere. There's least risk in this investment as compared to other investments. So here is the KLTI funnel, we call it. Know them. This is how it works. You know a lot of people, the bigger top right there. Not all of the people you know may like you. Joseph, do all the people know you and they like you?
I doubt it strongly.
Is there anyone who can come up and say, yes, all the people I know, they all like me, nobody hates me? So the next step is all the people, and I'm going to ask you, Joseph, and I will assume that you're speaking for everyone on the call today.
That's fine. Pick me up.
All the people like you, do they all trust you?
No.
No. All the people that trust you, all the people that you know, that they like you and they trust you, will they all invest with you?
No, I tried, but didn't happen.
Yep. So that's how it goes down. You know them. Some of them will like you, some of them will trust you, some of them will invest with you. Start from a bigger bucket, go smaller, tapers down. So that's why, for example, I know 1,000 people. I have 1,000 people in my list on my investors list or my whole list. They may not be investors. Some of them are want to be, some of them are just on my list. I met them somewhere, or they gave me their email for some reason, or they scheduled the call. So if your no bucket is small, what's that going to happen to your invest bucket? Will be even smaller. So your no bucket has to be bigger. If it's 1,000 people, out of 1,000 people, maybe 700 are like you. Maybe out of 500 people trust you. Maybe out of 500 people, 100 people invest with you. So bigger the top people. So that's why networking is the key in this business. That's how you know more people. That's why I'm here today, because I want to know you all. I want you to be in my list. That's why we do these online events and virtual events, then spend time with other people, because everybody wants to build their no bucket to the maximum they can. So there are 3 different types of cash providers also. There is one core group, and the core group is your people you know very well. Whatever we talked in the previous, the no side is tier 1. Those are the core groups, your family, friends, people you have gone to school to with, college with, live in your neighborhood, or from India, or from China, or from Greece, or wherever, bigger, or they go to the same church. So that's your core group. And then you can double them by having them refer, and always ask for referrals. If you don't ask for referrals, you're leaving money on the table. You're losing, because you might have an investor that somebody trusts you, like you, invest with you, and he knows 4 other people. And it's a lot more powerful when somebody refers than you contact them directly. Because if somebody has already invested with you, he will say all the good words behind you. And all those words that some heard behind you rather than from your mouth affects a lot more. And you probably know every business wants referrals. And then you can take it to the public. And I'm going to talk about taking to the public in the next slide, I guess. So how to take it to the public, how to get out of your comfort zone, out of your network, and attract more people. Are you guys enjoying?
Yes.
Yeah, KK, thank you.
Does it make sense?
It does.
100%.
Okay, good. So how to attract investors? Oh, I don't know why I keep moving to the next slide. Again, personal relations and referrals. Then you start building up your CRM. How many of you have CRM already?
Just started having one.
Okay, how many? Okay, I won't get there yet. So what you can do is start with the free CRM. Start building your investor base. And also in the CRM, at least you should have 2 lists. One is a journal list. You can call it a newsletter. I call it a newsletter, so that you can send to everyone. And then you can slowly start moving from newsletter to the investor list. So once you start sending them newsletter, and then some people will start responding, and then you can, in your newsletter, you can have a little Calendly link where people can schedule calls. That's how I met Joseph. and then you can schedule a call, then you can ask more questions, financial questions, their accredited investor status, and if they are W-2 employees or they have a business, so you can get more little personal about that. And then you start capturing traffic through your website. If you are thinking of raising capital, you must have a professional website. So start capturing through the web traffic, website traffic, and build it into your CRM. Start increasing your CRM. Go to these live meetings, virtual now, and have your LinkedIn or your. I have a digital card that I can just post it here, and it has all my information. Make a digital card. It's free. A lot of free stuff out there, and in this virtual, you can exchange your digital card rather than a visiting card. If you are in a live event, you can exchange a card with the. If you go to a RIA meeting or you go to any virtual events, you can exchange those. And social media, Facebook group, blog posts, there are so many ways of contributing, adding value. If you are on Facebook or Facebook group, you can have your own Facebook group, you can have your own blog post. Always, always, always add value. Don't ask for anything in return. Always ask for, try to add value. People will automatically recognize you that, oh, he's always adding value. And if you guys have noticed, or if you are on my Facebook group, 10X Multifamily Investment Group, you must have seen me adding value all the time. I have been doing that for the last 2 or 3 years. I have 5,500 members. And when I post there, I get results. Anything I post, I get results. And go to other people's Facebook groups if you don't have your Facebook group. Add value. Be popular on that group, good way, not the bad way. Not just liking everybody's post. Just try to add value. Go to Bigger Pockets. Try to add value. Those are the ways you are widening your know bucket. You will know a lot more people. You can start a podcast, or you can get on other people's podcasts like I do. You can get on live or virtual events. You can be a panelist. You can do what I'm doing today here on other people's podcasts. Go to other. I mean, all you want to know is more people, and then slowly it's going to trickle down to invest. 3 pillars of influence. How you influence these people. Thought, again, some of the stuff is the same that we already discussed. Thought leadership. Allow you to talk good about when you are not in the room. So other people talking behind you in a good way. Once somebody hears that, oh, KK is a great guy, and if you are talking there behind my back, and if somebody is looking at investing, they'll definitely look for KK. So somebody talking behind you in a good way, you can start a thought leadership. Again, you can have a Facebook group, you can have a podcast. There are a lot of ways of thought leadership. There are a lot of thought leadership platforms, and you don't have to do all of them. Pick one, focus on one. And same thing with the social media. Focus on one platform. If you're good at, some people are good at Twitter, I'm not. Some people are good at LinkedIn, I'm not. I mostly focus on, some people are good at Instagram. They have a lot of following on Instagram. They don't have, if you guys know Yona Weiss, he's very popular on, and he's having this virtual event right now as we speak. So he's very popular on LinkedIn, but he's not very popular on Facebook. So he's mostly focusing his energy and time on LinkedIn. And again, live or virtual events like this, virtual these days. And you can start small. You don't have to, I mean, we are, I think, 12 people. You can, that's absolutely good. You get to know each other. Then, and if you bring one more person, each one of you bring one more person, it's going to be 24. Then you got to manage these investors, guys. It's not, you have nurtured them, you have brought to your deals, then you have to serve them. You can't leave them after you got their money. You have to still communicate consistently with your investors, even you're done, even they have invested, and maybe they are not ever investing. They are at least invested with you for 5 years. And if they don't invest, they might tell if they are being treated nicely, they'll tell somebody else. If even if they don't have money, they'll tell somebody else that, hey, I invested with Joseph. He's a really good guy. Every time I call, he picks up my phone, answers my questions, and I'm very happy with him. I get paid, I get my distributions, etc. on time. So I'm happy. All he needs to say, I'm happy, you get an investor there. Sending them, these are some of the stuff that is a part of the capital raisers duty, I would say. Then sending monthly operation emails, what's going on the property, sending them financials on quarterly basis, sending them distributions as promised, and sending them K1s on time. Don't make them extend their income tax filing to September or October just because you didn't provide them a K1 on time. You can lose that investor if you do that. So a lot of people, in my last 20 years, I have always filed my tax return on time. I have never got an extension. And this year, one of the people I had invested with, he was not providing me the K1, and I was just waiting, and my accountant was getting crazy on me. KK, you have never done this in 20 years. What's happened this year? I said, I'll go ahead and file the tax return without that K1 if I have to, but I'm not going to get an extension. I'll amend my tax return later on, but I got on his butt and got my K1 on time. So we did file. So these things are most important. And if you're paying them distribution on 11th, maybe they had already planned to pay their rent or car payment or something. Always do it on the same day. Because if they had made a car payment scheduling on their bank with the same coinciding that he'll get this payment on 11th, and if he doesn't get, then you're just getting them annoyed because you didn't pay them on time. It's like a paycheck on Friday. So keeping them updated about the property day to day, you don't have to call them every day, but whenever they call, or monthly, quarterly, and if they call, keep them updated. Give them the opportunity to invest in your other deals as well. If you do all of the above, then definitely they're going to invest in your other deals as well. All right, guys, that's it. And time for questions. I'll take any questions. I think we are on time. Oh, 12 minutes late. Any questions, guys?
At this point, you can unmute yourself. But as people are, oh yes, question.
And I have my information here. This is my company. This is my cell phone number. This is my email. This is my company's website. You guys can go and we have a 10x multifamily investment Facebook group. You can find me there as well. So this is the way to contact me, and I have a Calendly link if somebody wants to talk to me. And one thing I want to share as well, and this is for accredited investors only. I have a deal that I'm working that I just talked about. Is it okay to talk about and now, or you guys have any questions?
Oh, KK, yeah. You can talk about your deal.
It looks
Okay.
like
That was actually my question.
Florian might have a question.
Hey, go ahead, Florian.
I do?
Oh, well, you unmuted, so I just assumed that you might.
Oh,
As he's changing, that's okay, Florian. As he's changing files, I just want to let you guys know, guys, don't ever feel awkward about asking questions. This is a safe room. You can ask what you think is even a dumb question. There are no dumb questions. And if you want to reach out to Joseph or I or KK offline, and you don't feel comfortable here, that's okay too, guys. Look, we're all starting at some point, so there should be, like, what a K1 is, guys. If you don't know, it's okay to ask these questions, okay?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, I would love to, since you gave the introduction to dumb questions for new people, I would love to ask a question.
Sure,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Louis.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I had to jump off for a minute. I got a puppy and he was driving my wife and kids crazy. So, but I heard most of what you were discussing, KK, and thank you for telling your story. You know, I know you were talking about bringing a general partner and bringing something to the table. And you mentioned a couple of times about also learning. And so as an accredited investor like myself, my interest in real estate is to learn real estate, right? So to take other investments I have that are really passive and to get a little more active. And I'm trying to figure out what the best way to bridge the gap in large deals is, you know, besides just being extremely passive and reading the materials, you know?
Was that a question?
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to understand what do you, when you join into a limited partnership, is there a route where you can be more involved so you can be a little bit more hands-on than just entirely passive as only the money, I guess is the question. Whether it's for
Definitely.
more.
Definitely. It all depends what you can bring to the table. Again, even let's say you're in, I have this deal here in Georgia and you want to invest in this deal. Wouldn't it be much better if you are in Georgia, you have to drive 20, 15 miles to this property and walk the property with the property manager? When I call the property manager and say, hey, I'm sending somebody, can you give them a tour? Or you do something, you underwrite it for somebody. I mean, there is always some stuff that you can do. You can also join some asset management calls if you want to. You can come and say, okay, I'll just be quiet. I'll just listen to you, because there are 8, 9 people already in the asset management call. So you can say, okay, I'm going to sit there and I'm just going to listen to you guys. I won't be interrupting. I won't be speaking. I'll be mute. So definitely as a limited partner also, and you can always ask for whatever information you need about the property. You can ask for the bank statements if you want. You can ask for the financials. You can
Okay.
ask for the rent roll. You can ask for the T12s, anything you want.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I sort of was looking at saying, hey, you know, I want to invest money, but I also consider it an education. So, you know, just like anybody paying for an education right now, if I got to put up $250,000 to educate myself, I'd like to do that at the same time.
I think I'm not discouraging anyone. There is not much to learn in this multifamily, but there is everything to learn. But mostly it is practical. So for example, there's a swimming pool behind me. If I tell you, jump into the swimming pool and just start doing this, and you jump and you can drown. You got to learn. You got to learn in the shallow pool. So you got to do something to learn. It's not everything that you can learn on the books. That's why I suggest to align yourself with other people who do these things and learn with experience as you go with little bit risk, not the whole risk, a little bit risk as compared to
Yeah.
the 100% risk. Because then you have, it's like learning a car with a good driver.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I have this deal here with, just as, look here, I'm doing this deal with Viking Capital. Viking Capital has about 6 properties as we talk today in Atlanta only, and then they have exited 4 of them, 4 or 5 of them already in Atlanta. So rather than going by myself, I just partnered with them on this deal. I'm signing the loan. I have the risk money in it. And I'm also capital raiser on this. And I will be a part of the asset management team as well. So this is the deal we have is 368 units. And I have another deal with the same company, Viking Capital, in Atlanta, north of Atlanta, which we bought last year. And that property has been performing very well. So that's why I like to do with other good operators. So that way you have more people on the team rather than being just yourself or 1 or 2 partners. So I have these Dr. Vikram and Dr. Ravi as my partners. And I'm going to go through it very briefly. I'm not going to go through in details, but if this is a 506C, so only accredited investors can apply. And again, now you can become an accredited investor by taking 1 exam, and the cost is $175, and that is FINRA Series 65 exam. If you take that exam, I would suggest every one of you, if you want to be in multifamily, at least get the accreditation. Then you have a credibility. You can write it down with your name that you are a financial advisor. I can't. With so many units, I can't unless I pass that test. So you can become an accredited investor. So I'm just going to show you this here. If you have any question or you have any interest, you can reach out to me. I'm just going to give you a sneak peek of this here. So it's a 368 unit, 52.7 million, 99 built, then renovated in 2017, 94% occupancy, and it's 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta, and that's 5.5 rent growth in that market.
Wow. KK, do you think you can just make your slides a little bit bigger?
Okay.
So if you...
Okay, I will.
Yeah, thank you. Perfect.
So should I go back or? I'll just very quickly go through it. So this is the summary. We are going in at 4.92 cap rate and 94% physical occupancy, 89%. And look at the DSCR. If you guys know what the DSCR is, the banks require 1.25, and here's we have 2.45 DSCR. Purchase price again here, and we have 2 types of investors. The first is Class A, got 10% IRR, then Class B gets 7% preferred return. 70-30 split between general partners and limited partners, and 25% limited partners, and B class 75%. So here again, and we are planning on exiting in 5 years. So the equity multiple is 1.5 times for right here, 1.5 times for limited partners Class A, and 2x for limited Class B. And this is the property right there. And this we have already. So these are some of the pictures. I won't go into the details on this one here. This is the unit mix. There's a gym right there. There's a playground right there. Every apartment has a balcony like this, and then have car garages. It's got 2 swimming pools, and this is the office or a clubhouse you can call. And this is the area right there for grilling area. This is a business office, has computers and everything, and again a playground and dog park, and this site plan. This is the floor plans, different floor plans, and this is the interior. Look at the interior. This is the interior of another unit.
Nice.
If anybody is interested in this deal, please feel free to reach out to me. This is not very clear because I enlarged it, but
you would have this information on your website, right?
no, I can't put this on the website. You have to sign up on my email, or you can contact me. Then I'll go over and send this to you, whoever needs it. It's not on our website because I can't present it to everyone. So those guys who are familiar, and this is 12 miles from the airport. And this area has Amazon. This has a lot of warehouse in this neighborhood. And this is the properties that they have in Atlanta, Georgia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties there in Atlanta, and then these 2, 8. And then these are my properties. And then these are the 4 properties they have sold already. And the investors made 24.1% over the life of these properties. So here's my beautiful picture and my partners. And we have the First Communities as our property manager, and they do our property management on some other properties as well. If you are interested, you can go to our website and fill in the information right there in the contact tab, or email to info@growrichcapital.com, and or you can go to my calendar and book a call, whichever works for you.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you for having me, and thanks you everyone, all your audience who have been here patiently listening to me.
It was a great lesson as to how to talk to investors, nurture the investors. I think the skill set is not only for multifamily investors, but for any other businesses. Basically, I think it's about human nature.
Raising capital for whatever, whatever business or anything. And once you get this skill set and you can build your credibility, you can raise money, you can do anything in the world.
I learned a lot because I'm a brand new coach. So I learned a lot. I was taking notes.
Good.
Great,
not just even in real estate, but just in, because that's what I'm nurturing my Facebook group. And it's very helpful.
Yes, thank you, Kay Kay.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you very much, KK. And thank you everyone for coming tonight. And it is Thanksgiving Eve. So Nico and I wish all the best for you and your family. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll come back with another great guest. And thank you very much for KK coming our guest and introducing your knowledge.
Thank you very much. And I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. Thank you for coming.
Thanks,
and
everybody.
To you guys. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thank you, guys.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye. Bye. Phew. Okay.